Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, we're going to do a special comic episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's having some back pain with me tonight?
Hey everybody, it's Ken, Sanity, and I am so goddamn tired.
This is Joe Butler, and hey Robin, do these big gauntlets make me look cool?
Nope. Well, actually, yes, I like them.
I like them.
So we are here to celebrate 75 comic episodes, and I want to do something special for that number, because it happened. So we're here to talk about Batman Knightfall, where some dumbass said, hey, this is a great idea, and another guy said, no, you don't, what are you doing? And then I said, yeah, and then I ordered the book and went, oh, no.
Yeah. It's okay. I had the same reaction where I was like, oh, I could do this the weekend, and then got through the weekend and went, oh.
So we were just talking about Volume 1, which came out in 1993 to 1994, which is 600 and something pages of Batman content.
And to be fair, we are reading Batman Knightfall Volume 1 Omnibus.
Oh, it is an omnibus, huh?
Yes, so this is all of the Knightfall arc. There are 2 more arcs in the Night Saga series, apparently is what they call it.
Okay.
But this is just Volume 1. So maybe there will be a Volume 2 and 3. Well,
most likely, because
we'll see.
I really like this.
Yeah, the subtitle of this episode is Ken fucking told you so.
Yeah, Ken
that is
did
fair.
Tell you so. Also, really fair point too. It's really interesting just because. Ken, what year is this?
2024?
No, the comic.
1993, the 1994.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. We went through a lot of weird, stupid phases in the 1990s. We were trying to one up the 80s. You know, Superman had long hair and the black costume, and he threw the big metal S off of his chest, like an asshole.
Hey, you know what? You leave that long hair, black costume Superman alone, all right? That was my boy.
Yeah. Year of the Edgelord. I was year born, Year of the Edgelord. But, this is when Spawn was popular and a bunch of other edgy stuff. So it affected a lot of the stuff that's going on. The main thing I noticed about Knightfall, I was about halfway through this and I went, wait a minute. This is just Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Rises?
Is it Rises?
Yeah.
Returns is comic book.
This is Dark Knight Rises, only way better.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I did not realize Bane. I never knew Bane's origin story before.
I don't think I did either.
I mean, I knew he was born in the darkness, but that was it.
He didn't see the light of day till he was a man. By then it was blinding.
And then I realized how much this movie took a really great comic, tried to adapt it, shit on it, and threw it in the garbage can, and then wrote something else real quick.
Yeah. If it makes you feel any better, Dark Knight Rises ripped off 2 major comic runs.
Yeah.
Is No Man's Land the other?
Yes.
God damn it. I had a feeling.
And someday we're going to talk about that too.
All 6? Are they 6 omnibuses like this?
They're not as big, but they're substantial.
So normally if you listen to a lot of comic episodes, we go beat by beat. We are not doing that because I don't have 4 hours to sit here. Or 5. I mean, I do, but I don't want to. And nor do you want to listen to it. So we're just going to kind of talk about it as a whole. Because this is a fucking monster. But my God, the issue Vengeance of Bane that really just talks about the whole issue about his origin story, that is really fucking good.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's fucking bleak though.
Yes.
I love it. I love it, but Jesus. It's very similar to the origin that he tells in Dark Knight Rises.
Mm-hmm. Weird. I wonder where they got that idea from. Huh. I mean, I didn't realize that the comic origin was that he was in a prison camp in some third world country, and he was born there and just beaten and locked in a cell for 15 years or something ridiculous. It was an intense read, and it really surprised me because I consider myself a well-known, reader of comic books to a degree. I'm aware. I don't read a lot, but I'm aware of stuff because I live in that world, and I didn't know any of this. And I didn't realize how much stuff pulls from Bane, like Arkham Origins, Dark Knight Rises, and it's all from this.
A good story is a good story. And this one written by, God, who was it? Chuck Dixon, Doug Munch, and Alan Grant. Just like, they knocked it out of the park here.
I did. 100% did.
They tried to kill Bane twice. It didn't work.
So in this omnibus, it's missing a few stories. Like, there's stuff that felt like I was missing here. Like, once you get past the Bane stuff, Batman is really tired, and it's not just from this Bane, or this one night with Bane causing trouble. Like, it's other stuff too, right?
I'm pretty sure there is some other stuff here, if memory serves.
Yeah, they touched on it a little bit, and I was actually going to message, but I was like, I'll get through the whole comic and see if it ignores it, which it doesn't. But like my first 400 pages, obviously I always have the one question, because it's always important where it is in the timeline, and this time it is important. Which fucking Robin is this? And I shit you not, they don't reveal that Robin for like fucking ever on who it is.
They think you would already know because you were.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is that you'd already be reading Batman comics, not that you picked up an omnibus 30 years later.
Oh God!
Yeah, this book's 30 years old.
God,
you're old, Ken. We're all old.
Oh.
You gonna be okay?
Ken, are you gonna be okay?
I don't know, man.
The one thing that I'll admit, which is really interesting about a lot of the art for the comic and stuff too, I mentioned it before, and I kind of mentioned it if you listen to the Power Rangers episode. Nothing in this is kind of like the original base model outfits, and I feel because like I watched, if you go to Amazon and watch it's called Shin Master Rider or Shin Kamen Rider, which is a movie that's way more violent of what was originally aired. That's pretty much what's the closest thing you're going to get currently to adult Power Rangers. And for that movie, they used very much a very similar outfit to the original outfit in the original series. Very minor touch-ups. It's not, as the kids call it, Marvel Vacation, where, there's too many pockets and it's modernized and things like that. A lot of people complain about that recently. It's not quite that. It still looks really good. I think if you were to do like a live action movie of Knightfall and kept all the fucking costumes in like the 90s theme, no one would bat an eye, and it would still come out as like a great fucking movie.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, the design here is just, they're great. They're just solid.
I really like it.
Especially Bane's costume. Like, he's not wearing the little tack vest, and he's not holding the sides. Like, he's got a wrestler's spandex on and a lucha mask, and he is just fucking shit up.
He is such a badass in everything with this, and how intelligent he is. Like, I have heard people talk about that. Like, that, he's very intelligent too, also with being strong. And I've never seen it because, like, I guess a little bit in Arkham Origins where he figures out who Batman is, but then he overdoses on Venom and ends up being an idiot. Like, it was just so nice to read this and see what he goes through to beat Batman. And not because he has to. I feel like he could have crushed Batman pretty damn quickly and still won, but he wanted the Bat to be broken physically and mentally. And it is an intense read too. Like, this is a violent book. I loved it.
Really?
I love the way Bane looks. You're right. The costume is simple, but it's good. It's a good costume.
Everyone's costumes in this I think are great. You have a couple of the weird Minions outfits that are a little goofy and just really late 80s, early 90s. Especially whenever I started reading this. I shit you not, I hope Mike has the same answer. I had no idea who John Paul was. I thought it was Robin's gay boyfriend for the comics.
That part, but I didn't know who he was either. I was really confused when they kept saying John Paul. I'm like, who the fuck is John Paul?
Mm-hmm. And eventually I figured it out.
Same.
Yeah, Jean-Paul Valley, a.k.a. Azrael, was introduced in Batman Sword of Azrael back in October of 92. So, yeah, you did miss a little bit because Vengeance of Bane was January 1993, and that's pretty much what started this. So there was a bit of a lead up to this. Batman's kind of having a midlife crisis, which, it happens to us all, I guess, if your life isn't already a crisis. But in rapid succession, Black Mask comes back, who's targeting Bruce Wayne and Lucius Fox. Killer called Metalhead and a sharpshooter assassin are hired by a mobster to kill Commissioner Gordon. So, a lot of stuff is going on. He fails to capture Black Mask. And he can't even meditate. He can't focus. Nothing is helping. So then they get John Paul's help, and that's kind of where it picks up. So he's already burning the candle at both ends by this point.
Okay, they made a lot of comments about it, but I didn't understand the context.
Yeah. And like even if you didn't know that, just what Bane does definitely would have you already having a problem.
Oh, he's a badass, and like the whole origin and just the way that, like, the reason why he goes after the Batman is because somebody said, yeah, the Batman's strong. I gotta kill this man. Like, that's what all brings it on. Like, it's just, and they don't make him cartoony. Like, I've seen Bane in many other things, and sometimes he can be a little cartoony stupid, and this didn't do any of that. This made him a very serious monster.
He is basically what would happen if Hugo Strange decided to start lifting weights obsessively. Like, he's that smart. He is as smart as any of Batman's other villains, if not more so.
That surprised me, because I think he figures out who Batman is pretty quickly. Maybe not in the intro, but he figures out pretty quickly who he is.
Well, Batman also gets a little sloppy too because of the stress and everything. I believe something happens where Bruce ends up fighting a bunch of villains all night, and he goes to the gala, and I think Bane is like, Bruce Wayne sure is acting weird. Oh fuck, he's Batman, isn't he?
Yeah, like the big thing that starts Knightfall is just before this, Bane's setting up the dominoes, which happens, and he decides to pit Killer Croc and Riddler against Batman, and injects Riddler with venom.
Oh, we're missing that.
Yeah, we don't have that. That happened just outside of this. So that's probably the one big thing that you're missing. But after that, that's when Bane breaks everybody out of Arkham Asylum.
Okay.
And that we do have.
I thought that was weird because I saw like a buff Riddler fighting Batman. And I'm like, when the fuck did that happen?
I was wondering the same thing.
Well, now we all know.
Thank you,
That's
Ken.
funny. Okay. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it because I was very, very confused. Like, I'm like, I'm missing, and I have 600 pages here. How am I missing stuff? But makes sense. Like, this is just a part of a long run of an ongoing series. So
I have 3 more questions then. So I want to go from here.
Okay.
So they met Azrael before this. You had the Sword of Azrael content. Is that the same outfit we see in Arkham Knight?
Not quite.
Is it the Gimp outfit that we see in this?
The Arkham Knight outfit is basically like a twist on the Knights Templar. Azrael's is a little more extreme.
Okay.
Okay.
I was very confused at how ugly his outfit is in this, because like the Azrael I know is from Arkham City, Arkham Knight, and I'm like,
that's the sweet outfit.
This looks stupid.
It looks stupid. I'm not surprised though. I mean, that always happens where down the line the more popular outfit ends up staying. So there's a part in the comic where obviously it's later on, but Tim's talking about how like, oh, maybe if I hadn't brought John Paul with us and done this thing and made the costume look weird, maybe John Paul wouldn't be having a full-blown fucking psycho breakdown. Who's that guy that they're talking about, like Henry or whatever?
You mean the cop?
No, it's like a guy in the cave that makes outfits. John Paul like knocks out a camera that's like a hunchback man in the cave.
Oh, that's he built the Batmobile. Shit, what the hell is his name?
Like Henry or something, right? Or Hank or something?
I'm just thinking we built the city on rock and roll, but I don't know.
Harold. Yeah.
Okay, I was confused why John Paul is breaking cameras at the end of this book.
Yeah, Harold is mute, and he's also got some body deformities. But apparently he is a mechanical whiz. He appeared back in the early 90s, and he like worked with the Penguin, but Batman eventually freed him and befriended him and realized that, hey, this guy can help me like build stuff. So Harold just kind of lived in the Batcave.
I wish we had kept that.
Okay. It's interesting reading this because as a guy who hasn't read a lot of Batman, or at least I've read like New 52 Batman, I've read Rebirth, but I never read like anything before then. Like it's very interesting how, because like now everything gets restarted. Oh, hey, we did 10 issues. Time for a new number 1. Like, it doesn't take very long. I know I'm exaggerating, but like it's fast. So it's interesting to see how much clout this has.
Well, like I said at the beginning, a good story is a good story. And There's a reason that Bane is still such a boogeyman in current Batman properties like the movies and the games. Some things you just don't fuck with. And Bane is one of them.
Mhm.
No, that's fair. Bane's a better character now than I thought before.
His cronies are really goofy too. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, you know what? You leave Zombie alone. Zombie is the best.
They grew on me. Was Zombie the bald white guy?
Yeah, that like dresses like I would if I had the money.
You would have a cane with a diamond on it?
I said, no, that's a skull, dude.
The Skull Diamond.
Yeah.
Also, this very much also screams 90s. And I know, we make jokes about how edgy it is, and it is edgy at the end of the day. I love it to pieces. You can always tell how fucking weird a Batman comic's going to be by how long his ears are, and they're pretty long in this.
They changed a little bit because the art, there's different art because there's so many fucking issues in this.
Yeah.
Well, the art does change a little bit. Because after Vengeance of Bane, you have 16 or 17 issues that are all part of Knightfall.
Yeah, and most of the beginning part is just Batman trying to round everybody up.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
And I think it's cool that they got some weird ones. Like, you got your Mad Hatter, but then you also have Film Freak, which is
I thought of
wild.
you, Ken, when I first read that.
So did I. I thought of me too. I was like, man, if I was a Batman villain, like, I love Two-Face, but this dude, I get him.
I have never even heard of him before.
Yeah, like a bunch of weird ones. And they got Amygdala.
Never heard of him?
Yeah, he's nuts.
Oh, there's one in this issue with the Mad Hatter issue that it's a guy in the bottom. His name's Destiny. I know him. Ken, I know him. Fucking Sandman. Oh. Sorry, what were you saying before I interrupted you because I had to make the Sandman reference?
Sandman.
But like his Bane's cronies are weird, but they work. I mean, you got the Falconer, like what's his name? Talon?
I think it's
Bird.
Falconer.
That's
The
a bird.
I thought his name was just Bird.
Yeah, I think Talon is the bird's name, but I think his name is Bird, yeah. But like, and then Trog, the other guy, the kind of buff one that like kept an eye out on him while he was in prison. Like, they're cool. They're his boys. They're his homies.
Remind me to tell y'all something really fucking stupid about the Talon at the end of this fucking podcast.
I mean, a couple others I never heard. I've never heard of Cornelius Stirk. I've never heard of Amygdala. You mentioned before. Like, it's just so cool that they put in so many Batman villains in this. It was like a nice lesson for me to learn on characters I never even heard of. Like, I have never before read a Mad Hatter issue. I can now say I have. And he is a dumb fuck, but I did enjoy it.
Yeah, that's pretty much Mad Hatter, honestly.
And I enjoyed it. That's all that matters, right?
Cornelius Stirk is dope. Like, I like him.
I'm surprised he's never been in anything that I've consumed.
Funny. That's a great word you used. Consumed. Because he's a cannibal.
I didn't know that, by the way.
Yeah, he's a cannibal serial killer. And he turns their hearts into soup because he believes that gives him power.
And he also is like a ventriloquist. No, not he's like a hypnotist.
Telepath. He's a telepath.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a part in here when he does show up because he's working with Joker. It doesn't last very long because who would have guessed Joker's bad, huh? And
What?
he makes Gordon see Batman, and Gordon's like, "Batman's trying to kill me."
Yeah. So basically, he's like the Mysterio of Batman's world.
Okay.
Except he eats people.
That really surprises me.
Then we have these weird in-betweens of this guy saying that like the people that are locked up in Arkham aren't crazy, and people are like, like the Joker shot a random guy the other day, right? And he's like, nah, they're just weird. It's okay.
So is that guy somebody important to the Batman mythos or something that matters? Because like he's in this book off and on throughout this entire thing, and all he does is go, "Buy my book. They're sane and you're not." Ho ho ho! Like, what's the point of this shithead?
Well, just
Don't worry about it.
first off, his name is Simpson Flanders.
Okay.
So like, come on, get the fuck out of here. Really? You can't find a better name in the 90s than to rip off one of the biggest television shows of all time?
Mm-hmm.
Get out. No, he's one of those, I'm going to say it, it's going to come off bad, but he's one of those white people.
You're white. It's okay.
Yeah. But like, the ones that are just like, oh no, people are misunderstood. Look, man, sometimes a cannibal is fucking nuts. All right.
I was just curious, like the Batman, if he's gonna play a part in one of the later volumes of this monster.
I'm trying to remember because something does happen to him.
Okay.
I just don't remember when it happens to him.
I figured something had to, because he just seemed like an important enough that he had some purpose here.
Okay, I looked it up. No, he's alive for a while after this. So.
Oh, okay. Like I just liked it when they show, like, at one point in there they show all the inmates escaping, and like you see Maxie Seuss, which I only know because he's referenced in one of the Arkham games, or maybe a couple of the Arkham. Is he? I don't think he's in the Arkham games.
I think he's like, you see like some of his stuff, but he was also in animated series.
Oh, that's where I know him from then too. Okay.
Yeah, and the Harley Quinn show.
I fucking hate him in the Harley Quinn show.
Oh, he's such a cunt in Harley Quinn.
Such a bastard.
What was so good in this, you see him, he's like, I'm free! And then he runs into a tree, and at the end of it, you never see him again this whole thing.
Yeah, and that's what I like about that. They'll take a villain and just use him for like 3 panels and be done. Because they're not the problem. Bane's the problem.
But like, I do want to talk about the Mad Hatter stuff. I really enjoyed just reading the issue about Mad Hatter. Like, I don't know, I just enjoyed it, seeing Mad Hatter being the dumb fuck he is, and the way he is. It was just fun to me for some reason.
Yeah.
He only lasts an issue, then we never he gets arrested, and that's the end of him. But it was just kind of fun. I don't know. It's just one of those characters I know of, but I have never actually read a comic with him in it. So it was kind of like a nice, first time thing. I like Mad Hatter, by the way, too. if you haven't figured that out.
He's weird.
That's fair.
The ventriloquist was interesting in this too, I felt.
I love the ventriloquist in this.
He's another character I know very, very little about.
Like, I always thought he was kind of bullshit, but this quest that he and Amygdala are on, it's just fun. I'd watch a buddy movie with these guys.
Same.
Well, it's just amusing the way everything goes with it, where it's just like, he gets like he's a sock puppet. Like, there's a one humorous moment where he gets where the guy's like, you need a cop. He's like, I got one right here, and he pulls out a puppet that's a cop. Like, it's hilarious. Yeah,
he's just having a good old time, and you end up kind of feeling bad for Amygdala.
He doesn't get arrested though till way later in this. Does he even get arrested in this comic? I feel like he escapes for a while.
Yeah, he gets away for a minute.
I think. So we're kind of hopping around, so I think it's fine that we want to go back to it. I do think it's fine. It's really fucking sad that the ventriloquist's story ends with him finding Scarface, and the sock puppet doesn't like him, and he basically just ends up shooting himself, a la Fight Club. But I think he actually died.
At least until, something happens. But like we get to spend some time with my favorite serial killer in the Batman universe, Victor Zsasz.
That Zsasz design is great.
Oh, I love it.
It's a character that I didn't even know he existed until Arkham Asylum.
Oh, he's so fun. And by fun, I mean terrifying. But
my God, did they make him terrifying in this? I was like, this is fucking impressive what they do with him in here. Like, I'm like, this is something else. Like, that was a good issue where Zsasz takes over an all-girl college or bait school for women, and I'm like, bait school for women? Huh, I wonder where you got the idea for that name. Hi, guys.
But yeah, he's kicking ass. And he almost got away with it, too.
He holds down his own against Batman in this issue, too, which I think is supposed to be more showing that Batman's getting so tired.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why Batman won't trust Robin at all in this comic? Like, is there something I'm missing, or is it just Batman being dumb?
Batman's got a lot of problems right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So from what I gather later on in the comic, whenever he's like shitting his pants upset, Jason died. I want to say it's probably hasn't been that long since Jason died. I believe not Selena Kyle. Or is it Selena Kyle? Who's the bitch from the movie?
What are you talking about? Talia Cool?
No, the reporter chick.
Oh, Vicky Vale.
Vicky Vale's also dead apparently too. I don't know how that happened. Yeah, so he's going on some stuff right now currently.
Okay.
And Batman's always kind of had this thing with Tim, which I think is always funny, where it's like, oh, Tim, you make such a great Robin, but I'm worried you'll get beat to death like Jason did. So that's always what it's been forever.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I'm going to make a new Robin. Don't be like that last one now, right? Yeah.
And then something always really bad happens to Tim. This comic kind of shows it because Tim has a dad who just got out of a coma apparently. Mm-hmm. But like 90% of Tim comics usually end with, "Oh, Tim, you're such a good Robin." Turns corner, "Oh, Tim's dead." Or even worse, "Oh, Tim, you're such a good Robin." "Oh, Joker kidnapped Tim's parents. Oh, they're dead. My bad, Tim."
I like Tim in this, actually. I don't know anything about him, though. I've never read a comic with him in it or anything before. I just know him from the Arkham games again. You're going to hear that a lot this episode.
I like Tim. I like Tim a lot.
I also liked him.
I do, too. It was a little annoyed that Batman kept just pushing him off in this book. Like, it was pissing me off. I'm like, why are you... But it does make more sense that Jason wasn't that long ago, and, he's suffering the loss of a kid that he put in harm's way that got murdered terribly.
Also, they keep expanding it, but like I think bare minimum, Jason was like a year Robin. Like he wasn't Robin for that long.
It's not Batman's fault. It's the voters.
That guy cheated. We all found that out.
Yeah,
what guy cheated?
Somebody used an auto dialer.
Yeah, a guy made using an auto dialer. Apparently, he was the reason why it was like 40 votes, like by like one person or some shit. So if it wasn't for him, Jason probably would have been alive. But we wouldn't have my favorite DC superhero. So
he must have really hated that comic character to do that in that time.
A lot of people hated Jason.
Because I don't think that was cheap to have an auto dialer at that time either. So
I'm gonna tell you right now, if they did the same thing with a vote for Damian, I would get an auto dialer from like the 80s, and I would just go nuts.
You don't need to go to the 80s. They have. You could download a thing on your computer and download a phone program and be good to go.
Where's the love, though? I want technology. I want to feel like I am doing it.
Also, if it makes you feel better, Jason's died like twice, so it's fine.
Yeah. And every time he comes back, and he's great.
Everyone comes back. No one stays dead ever in any comics.
But Uncle Ben.
He's not dead right now.
Oh, he's not? Never mind. I don't read comics.
Yeah. Ultimate Spider-Man current run, Uncle Ben is not dead.
Oh, that seems weird.
Plus, he's in Madam Web.
Oh, yeah. He's... Okay.
Fuck you guys.
No, I like that the whole thing is that Bane released all these people with no real, like, connection to, like, he's just trying to break down Batman. Like, because Batman's like, who saved you? Why are you here? He's like, they're like, I don't know. I just want to cause trouble. Like, I don't care. Like, I like that.
I like being evil.
I was just kind of waiting for one of them to be like, I don't know, man, some big Mexican.
Is Hugo Strange in this?
He was in one chapter. He was like, he was watching Bane escape at one point, I think.
Okay, because I saw a guy in a window with glasses and he never showed up again. And I'm like, that's Hugo Strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He gets around.
Also, Ken, who's that other detective too? That's not Bullock and also
Montoya?
Not Montoya. He's a guy.
The blonde-haired guy that looks like that I thought was John Paul multiple times throughout this reading?
Yes.
Okay. I have no idea.
Ken.
I don't remember. I gloss over the unimportant characters.
That's fair. That guy kind of is a bitch the whole time anyways. It's fine.
Yeah. So, like, we get to the main important character coming up, though.
Killer Croc?
No. Oh, fuck Killer Croc. Like,
hey, I like Killer Croc in this.
Killer Croc and Bane have it out, which is pretty great.
Yeah, they fuck each other up.
It was better than I thought it would be.
I can watch that.
They fight each other, and the entire time, who's paying for it? That's right, Tim Drake. Because fuck him.
He almost gets killed in this.
Yeah, and that's just this is pretty close to the beginning.
Yeah.
So like, it's not going to get better for him.
Knightfall Part 4 is when he almost drowns to death.
Yeah, Bane grabs him and goes, "Let's see where you end up," and then throws him down the river. You know, like in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, so this part where I see Cornelius Stirk standing over a pot, that's human meat, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
That's delicious food. Hearty broth.
So what's up with this doctor that is trying to see Bruce throughout this book? Like, is she somebody of importance?
It's Dr. Kinsolving.
I don't know who that is either.
Yeah, she's very important. She's basically like, she knows Bruce is Batman.
He doesn't hide it very well.
But like, she's one of his close characters. Like one of the outside of the Bat family people.
Okay.
Who he relies on.
You know, I so there's like a couple parts in this comic I'm gonna make huge jokes about because it's very much a '90s Batman comic. One of the things is I do like the Scarecrow's current outfit and the fact that he shoots his dust out of the fucking skulls, which is pretty cool. But yeah. I also love the moment where it's like, yes, Batman fighting his most famous villains, Joker, Scarecrow, Killer Croc, and this asshole that uses a sword.
Hey, he's good at fencing.
He's good at
Literally, what they say about him.
I love Scarecrow in this one.
I was surprised how much Scarecrow there is in this book. I did not expect over like 6-7 issues of Scarecrow.
If you're really trying to psychologically break somebody, though, Scarecrow's who you want in your corner.
Did they steal the entire Scarecrow shit from for the Dark Knight trilogy from this? Because Scarecrow also has a plan to fill the water supply with his toxins, and I was like, wait a minute.
Well, like, poisoning the reservoir is a trope that's been around since, like, silent films. So, like,
Yeah,
I can't really put the entirety of that on them.
And Gotham is supposed to be Detroit, or maybe New York.
It's New York, pretty sure.
Ish. It's a bunch of places.
Then what does Superman say? What's Metropolis then? DC?
Los Angeles.
Oh, fuck me, that is fair. Okay.
Yeah, come on.
I didn't know
Come
that, so.
Didn't think about that.
But, like, Gotham's also part Chicago, too.
Oh, yeah, it is also part Chicago.
So, like, every place is a bunch of places, which makes perfect sense.
Welcome to comics.
I mean, for fuck's sake, even Firefly is dangerous in this book.
I fucking forgot about Firefly, and yeah, he is hella dangerous.
He surprised me in this. I don't know much about him. You know, it's too bad they never made a movie with him in it. You know, I bet he'd be a good villain in a movie.
Stop reminding me.
Don't worry, other people out there are bitching at me right now, too.
God, that would if it's this backstory, that would have been a good fucking Batman movie. Batgirl movie.
Bitch, you're hurting my feelings, man.
Fuck me. Also, if I lose you guys, it's thundering outside. So if I lose you, I'll be right back.
All right.
Should we just call the internet company and complain? Constantly?
I will. That is not a fun callback. My goddamn you. Now I know how Phoebe feels. God damn it.
No, I know. And she will laugh at this joke 3 months from now. Also, we'll randomly get a text when she hears this. I had to.
Yeah.
Okay. No, they actually make Scarecrow a pretty good villain in this. Like, I mean, you're right. The water reservoir thing is just a villain trope. I mean, hell, one of the best villains ever in any media, Kefka. That's what he did, too, for the Doma citizens in Final Fantasy VI. I love that game, by the way, so I gotta get my
play that one day.
You should. But, like, one thing I thought was just hilarious to me is, like, the mayor is such a fucking, like, shithead, too. Because they scare him, so then he makes phone calls, and later on, they're like, here's the phone. He's like, no, don't make me do it. And they're not even, like, beating him. He's just doing it because he doesn't want to be scared again. It's like, you're just being threatened. And you're like, I'll let all the people die under my watch.
This sounds like you haven't been scared enough. Like, that's what I'm hearing. You have never been put in a place of mind-numbing fear.
But I'm also not in charge of a city.
Yeah, but, like, it's not like it's his divine providence to rule Gotham. Some assholes voted him into office.
Yeah, that's unfortunately how it works sometimes.
Like, who's prepared for that kind of thing if you're the mayor? Well, okay, the mayor of Gotham should be fucking prepared for that. Let's be honest.
Yes.
But, like...
That's how I take it. Like, but also, I get it. Like, it's terrible fear. You have 2 freaking serial killers in front of you, but maybe there should be a plan in place where you make a phone call that seems normal, that someone goes, oh, we better go, something's wrong. It's Gotham. It's a bad city.
But how much power does the mayor actually have in Gotham?
I mean, he sets up police, he gets the firemen to go on strike.
Yeah, but, like, I don't know. Like, he's also pushing the power. So, like, I don't know.
It is good to see Scarecrow being a powerful villain in his own way. Because, I mean, you don't get a ton of Scarecrow in a lot of Batman. Well, I mean, you do. I don't know. But I haven't had a lot of Scarecrow media that I've read.
I like Scarecrow in a lot of things. I like the idea of Scarecrow more than I like the execution a lot of the time.
I mean, this works, though. Like, that little mini-series is in here where he goes after the son of someone he first killed, by accident, and he's just, like, manipulating people to be scarecrows. Like, there's some dark shit in here.
That's a really fucked up backstory.
Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, I killed your father.
This'll be fun. Come along, child.
I know, and seeing the Joker and Scarecrow team up, I never expected that. 2 crazies? Like, it actually works, though.
Look, man, team-ups aren't just for the Bat family. bad guys can team up too. And I don't know. I think the team of Joker and Scarecrow is probably the worst.
Yeah, because you put Joker toxin in the fear gas, and now you're laughing while being scared. It's pretty shitty. Shit your pants. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, like I'd be terrified, and not just because of the fear gas.
And they're around for a while. It takes Batman a good amount of issues before he wraps them up because he's too busy dealing with everybody else. Like we get 3 issues, I think, of Firefly while Scarecrow and Joker are doing their thing too.
Yep, and then they throw Poison Ivy in the mix.
That's a fun issue. I really like Poison Ivy.
There's a lot of great stuff going on, and it's all happening at the same time. So I get it. I get why Batman's
he's beaten down.
Fuck y'all.
He's beaten down bad in this. Like the stuff with Poison Ivy, I think she's only around for an issue, but it's a fun one where she takes over like a buffet, or not a buffet, a benefit for a bunch of rich people, and she's about to kiss people and kill them. Like, and then I just liked it. It's just cool to see him fight Poison Ivy, and it's cool to see her in this. One thing I didn't realize is we do get Riddler in here a little bit. I did not realize Riddler still had this costume in the 90s.
I love that costume.
I had a figure of this costume when I was a kid in the 80s, and it was an old ass toy from like the Justice League run of toys. I got it at a garage sale. I remember being like, this is ugly toy. I played with it, but it was ugly toy. I did not realize he kept that costume for as long as he did. Because like the Riddler I think of usually would be the animated series Riddler costume, which I do like a lot.
Yeah.
And then the Rebirth one is good too.
Rebirth, was that the Guy Ritchie Riddler?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much. And then there's the Arkham verse Riddler, which I like too. It's just such a stupid costume in here, but it worked.
Yeah, but he's also not really doing much in here.
No, I don't even know why he's even like he's just here.
Like I was just gonna say, after he gets venomed by Bane, like he comes down and he's trying to be like, I'm still important, I still matter.
Yeah.
Where the comics turn against him.
Bitch.
I thought that was cool. Where he's like, we can't, like we're like ready to do the crime. He's like, we can't. They haven't opened up the newspaper yet, so he won't do it. Like I like that. I was like, fuck him. Let's just shoot him. We'll go do the crime anyway.
This is why you gotta get good minions.
It's hard to find good minions.
It really is.
Especially when the whole city is a mess.
No, Joker fucking shoots half of them half the fucking time. God damn it.
Oh, yeah.
I hired Tony for a job last week. He went to go work for the fucking Joker for like a weekend. Next thing I know, it turns out he blew himself up over some factory incident because the Joker thought it'd be funny. Hard to find good minions.
It is cool that Bane doesn't play such a center part throughout most of this book. He's just in panels here and there, just watching.
Yeah, watching and subtly maneuvering things behind the scenes.
I want more Bane.
Oh,
I want to read more Bane after we finish this monster.
We should read the one where he becomes Batman.
What the fuck?
Do
you not know about that, Mike?
What was that?
I don't follow enough comics.
Yeah, there's a Batman comic where I don't know what happens to Batman, and Bane's like, if there's no Batman, I'll be Batman. And it's like, cool, luchador bat mask.
I think it was recently.
And not too recently. I want to say maybe like 2000. But, oh yeah, I totally forgot, Mike. You were wrong. There is a reason for that whole fucking TV show. Because the Riddler eventually goes on there like an asshole and makes a fool of himself.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was all right. He has dynamite stuck to him, and he's like, I'll blow everybody up.
And then they're like, yeah, whatever, fuck off.
Well, there's enough shit going on in the city to worry about a freaking guy in a green leotard. Like, come on now. A bad time right now in Gotham. When Batman does get hit with the fear gas, he ends up seeing Jason Todd getting murdered again. That's his fear.
Yeah. Broken record, this one.
Huntress is also in this.
Who is?
For like Huntress. She's like in this for like 2 pages.
Yeah.
I don't even remember her. But then I didn't read this whole thing twice. I read it once, and then I tried reading it a second time, and I just couldn't get myself to finish it.
266.
Oh, I passed that. That's on flipping through pages. I like Huntress a lot.
It's right after Riddler gets taken in by the cops.
Oh, yeah, she's literally, what, like 2 pages?
Yeah, she's literally 2 pages, yeah.
Is she a member of the Bat family, essentially, later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes she's Bruce Wayne's daughter.
I just know her if she was an Arrow, and
It's just weird.
She's played by another actress I really like, and a movie that was better than people gave credit for.
Yeah, she's Ramona Flowers, man.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, somebody I would love to meet someday if she comes to a convention. I would be paying.
But yeah, Huntress is just cleaning up Riddler's goons, which is weird.
When does... Could they hold off Batman when he finally gets to Bane? Like, 'cause he beats up his minions, and it isn't until Knightfall Chapter 11, 317 is when... Oh, okay. Bane I forgot. Bane goes to Gotham, or not Gotham, goes to Wayne Manor and just beats the shit out of Alfred and the manor itself.
Poor Alfred.
I mean, okay, that's where that buff Riddler was. That made no sense to me. I just saw the panel of it. I was like, why is Riddler buff? Why is my cat crying? But man, it is such an iconic scene that it was nice to finally have read it and finally understand the context of Batman getting his back broken, as you see him here.
Yeah.
I mean, Bane fucks him up even before he says, "I'll break you," and then does the whole back-breaking move.
Yeah, he's just throwing them around.
This was also really big too, obviously because of the, it's just, to be fair, it's the cover of the goddamn comic, but this is one of those big Batman moments that's done in everything. I mean, obviously the movie did it. A couple of TV shows, yeah. A couple of the TV shows did it pretty well too, where it wasn't Bane. It was Bane breaking his back, but it wasn't like broken. It was like I've got you now, Batman. But it's always been pretty fucked up. Fucking breaks him like a pack of spaghetti noodles.
It is nice that he's not like all monster venom when it happened. He's kind of his normal self. Like on the cover of the book, he's the monster Bane, which I don't think you really see in here too much. Like I don't think he goes into that mode, which I'm okay with. I don't like Bane when he becomes a giant monster, like in Arkham Asylum. I don't care for that as much.
You like a man smart. You like him in control. That's what you like.
Yeah, I mean, he uses the venom and he does get enhanced, but he's not enhanced to the point where he's just a monster with no idea what's happening and he's just crush Batman. Grr. Like, I like this better.
Grr. Arg.
I also couldn't believe that it was only page 338 out of our 630 some page book that he gets his back broken.
Yeah, because we're just over halfway through this book.
Mm-hmm.
God help.
And we're jumping around big time.
Yeah, but
not jumping around, but
even halfway through, something that big happens. So like, there is still so much more to go through. Especially
for the worst part of it too. So you have Bane break Batman, where he makes his head touch the bottom of his feet, and he also throws him off a fucking building too.
So okay, I was curious about that. He breaks him in Wayne Manor, and then does he carry his fucking ass to the city?
Yeah, he carries his ass through the city.
Okay,
I was wondering about that spinal injury.
Well, and then you see him bounce off different parts of buildings as he comes down to the street.
I am Bane.
Like, how do you survive that?
Good question, Michaelton.
I guess it's a comic book, so.
Well, here's the thing. When your back's broken, you tend not to have a whole lot of muscle strength. And they always tell you in car accidents, don't tense up. You're going to make it worse. So you combine those two. I don't know. I'm just making shit up.
I mean, that is true. I know somebody who got into a car accident, a really bad one, and she tensed up, and it like broke her body, where her husband didn't tense up, and he was okay for the most part.
Yeah. So like maybe that's what happened.
I'll buy it.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I believe it.
I thought it was really amusing when the cops go to take Batman away in the ambulance, and then they're like, "What ambulance?" They're like, "Wait, that wasn't General Hospital." Like, it's Alfred and taking him away. Like, I really like that. I thought that was a really cute little thing. Like, oh, get him in here. All right. Then it's not who they think it is. So, I don't know. It was just a cute little moment, but I'm like, this makes sense.
Thanks for helping me steal this ambulance, Robin. Mm-hmm. And John Paul.
John Paul is so weird to be part of this. Because, like, as the book continues, he's not a hero.
No.
I don't know. It's just weird for me because I have very little backstory to Azrael. I just know him from the Arkham games, which he stands on a roof and gives me missions to fight him.
So I can fill in some backstory if you want.
Please.
Joe, you were going to say something and I cut you off.
Oh, I was gonna say, so there's a lot of reason before you go into that too, just real quick. See, Mike, you said that you notice a lot of the stuff with Azrael never pops up. Why the fuck do you think that is? Because it's not the best part of this. The best part of this is Batman getting his back broken and then coming back. All the other Azrael stuff never comes up in a lot of other meters because it's kind of fucking stupid, just a little bit. Because Bruce is an idiot, and obviously it's one of the things where it's like, oh, the decision for him to make some random asshole Batman is goofy. Like, the only other time I've ever seen it done really successfully off is the Batman War, where they make Dick, Jason, and Tim, and Damian Batman for 2 weeks to see who's in the pickup after Batman dies in one of the comics. Even though Batman's not dead, he's just jumping through realities like an asshole.
What?
Don't worry about it. Comics are weird.
Okay.
Anyways, Ken.
So Jean-Paul Valley is genetically augmented, and he was created by a secret Catholic extremist group called the Order of Saint Dumas. So he's basically a religious assassin, and they brainwashed him.
They brainwashed him to replace Batman, right?
Well, he's not the first Azrael. There's a long line of Azraels, and his father was a previous one. So he's basically taking over that role. And after his father gets murdered, then he comes across Batman, and they're investigating the mystery behind Azrael's father's death. Azrael eventually saves Bruce Wayne and pushes off his brainwashing to be more like Batman. So that's when he comes back and starts working with the Bat family. And Bruce picked Azrael to be a replacement in the event of an emergency. We're real fortunate there was an emergency.
Okay. That makes a little bit more sense.
I mean, the whole genetically altered Catholic assassin doesn't, but whatever.
Are you sure? Are you sure that doesn't make sense?
I think it's funny.
Don't talk about it, Mike. That's how the Vatican finds you, Mike.
The Vatican is their own state, by the way, too. So
you guys think that's weird? Do you want to know something really funny? Because I try to keep up with current DC canon stuff, especially when it gets really, really goofy. Do y'all want to know a really funny fact that's not current? Because current's absolute Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman. I think that's the kind of current run they're going with, kind of with the Ultimate series. In the last Batman arc, it reveals that the Court of Owls uses the circus that the Flying Graysons are a part of to raise Talon soldiers. So they're thinking about keeping it to where the reason why Dick has always been the best Robin is because he was secretly being trained to be the next Talon.
You know what? Yeah, I think they did talk about that in Robin War.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they did. Hey, remember that comic I made us read for some stupid-ass reason?
You just wanted it because Talon was in there.
I know. I regret my decision, if that makes you feel any better.
It wasn't that bad.
Wasn't that bad.
Wasn't that good. I was in a Court of Owls mood because of Gotham Knights. So yeah, we did Batman and Robin. We did Robin War. So it was just, I was in a mood. Batman vs. Robin was 22 years of difference. Okay, Batman vs. Robin different. Batman and Robin, Batman and Robin and Robin War, were recorded not that long between each other. So, okay. I think it's the way that when Batman gets his back broken and how much he suffers and how the city starts becoming 10 times worse and all the villains hey, there's no Batman, let's go have fun. I think that's all well done. Azrael needs a better costume though, that's for sure.
Yeah, this costume sucks. So
is the never mind. I was going to say the Two-Face thing take place at a different time again, but it has a bunch of Two-Face origin for some reason in here, which I thought was odd. I don't need his origin, I know it, but
well, it's the pearls and the necklace in slow motion and the flowers falling. Every once in a while, they just got to bring that shit up again.
Yeah, I just can't remember if this is the Azrael Batman or this the real Batman. It's a past thing.
Oh, that's a past thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
They do that a little bit here, and it gets confusing because you just have I think 2 issues of him fighting Two-Face.
Yeah, which love it. You know me and my boy.
I mean, it's nice to find a way to slip in more characters from Batman's rogue gallery, and you're like, well, maybe we shouldn't have broke Batman. We still want to write more.
If Ken was a Batman villain, he'd be Two Guns, where he'd wear a half black and half white suit, and he'd have a coin, and he'd flip it, and one side of the coin, he'd shoot you with one gun, and if you flip the other side of the coin, he'd shoot you with the other gun. There is no option.
I like that idea. That's a great idea.
Thank you.
So if when I meet Ken and he has a black and white suit, I should walk half black, half white suit. I should walk away, Joe. Is that what you told me?
Yeah, probably.
No, just don't let me flip a coin.
So carry around a handful of coins. That way, when he flips the coin, you throw the other ones up in the air.
Yeah, media has trained me that that's always going to work, no matter how many times it's done. It's gonna happen.
Like, part of Bane's idea in this is he wants to take over the city too. Like, you take over the crime, but take over the entire city. I mean, that's kind of what they copied in Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
But this did it so much better.
Yeah.
It is amusing when there's a part where they're like, yeah, we got to explain why Bruce Wayne is all injured, and they just beat the shit out of his car with sledgehammers.
It's a solid idea.
They're like, it's got to look broken. Let's beat it up.
That's not enough. Throw it off the fucking cliff.
I mean, wouldn't just throwing off the cliff be enough?
If anything, I think the idea, which is also stupid, but then again, it's also the 90s, so you wouldn't have that good of a technology. The idea is supposed to be is that he was driving it drunk and he hit a bunch of shit and then it flew off the fucking cliff.
So that way you can see, oh, there's other things wrong with it except just what the cliff happened.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say that.
Yeah, we'll go with that. And then you use the excuse, which they do later on, where it's like, well, why isn't his fucking legs broken? Oh, he jumped off halfway and fell funny on a rock. It's like, oh, okay.
And this is when Azrael takes over as Batman.
Well, Sean Paul takes over as Batman.
Oh, yeah. I don't like him as Batman.
You're not supposed to.
I know.
Spoiler, nobody does. That's part of the problem.
I mean, it is interesting to have a Batman that's not following the no-kill rule. I mean, he doesn't kill anybody, but he gets damn close to murdering people.
Like, he's an assassin. So, of course.
It brings vibes of very much year one Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't, sometimes the end justify the memes. Just saying.
I mean, when it comes to what they're dealing with, yeah, that makes sense.
But, like, Batman has always been too good for that. And blah, blah, blah. And whose back got broken? That's what I fucking thought. You would have killed all those people. They wouldn't be around to give you problems.
There's a small scene where Bruce Wayne wheels himself over to Tim's house. Like, that mansion can't be that close that he just wheeled over there like nothing. Like, I've never been in a wheelchair, but I'm assuming it's not that easy to push yourself.
Especially not in grass.
Look, you guys don't understand why. It's a Wayne Tech fucking... it's a Wayne Tech brand wheelchair. It works really, really well.
You mean what Barbara didn't get?
Yeah, it works well because Barbara uses it.
Barbara was in a clock tower for a long time.
Yeah. But Bruce, why make me a wheelchair whenever you can just make me new? Like, gotta go.
Gotta go so long. Oh, there's crime. I have to leave. Bye. Take the elevator. There is no elevator. Batman. And he runs off.
I don't know. I just thought it was just funny that he's in a wheelchair, and doesn't he beat up a couple people in a wheelchair too? Yeah, he takes out a guy.
Yeah, but look, you're Batman. You could probably beat up a guy from a wheelchair.
Don't they beat the shit out of him too, though, in the wheelchair?
They fucked him pretty bad, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they eventually just kind of tip the wheelchair over, and that's him done.
This plot doesn't even get resolved either in this book because the doctor and Tim's father get kidnapped and I think taken to the fictional island that Bane was at. Correct?
Benadoro. Yes.
Which is not resolved in this book.
No, it's not. There's almost like it's 2 more books left in this series.
Who would have guessed?
Wild.
Have I ever told you guys my favorite thing of all time is like 80s and 90s comics, like shock covers, if that makes sense?
It does.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example here in a second. But where it's like things where it's like, well, I think one of my other favorite ones is like, Superman won't let Jimmy drink water, and it's just Jimmy Olsen. He's like, please, Superman, I haven't drunk water in a week, and it's just Superman holding a glass of water with like a finger out, like, Jimmy, there's no water for you. Then you read the comic, and it turns out Jimmy has a bomb in him, and if he drinks water, he'll explode.
What the fuck?
I really like the cover of just Batman beating the shit out of fucking criminals with a fucking nail in it, with a stick with a nail in it. And you're supposed to obviously see that in eyes and go, what the fuck is going on in Batman? And then you read it and find out why.
Yeah, and look at those ears, man.
Yeah, those are... There's some really messed up covers throughout this. Like, I don't like the art of the covers. I like the art of the books for the most part, but I don't care for the covers.
Oh, some of the covers are really good, though.
Some are really good.
Like the Shadow of the Bat stuff. Shadow of the Bat covers are great throughout.
I don't like them, but I'm not surprised I'm not surprised you do because they scream early '90s movie posters.
What does that mean?
It reminds me of something that I would have seen in the '90s.
That's fair.
It just has that aesthetic to it.
Are you saying he's wrong, Ken?
No.
You're trying to figure out why I said it was a bad thing. I'm not really sure. I just know I didn't really care for it. I don't
Which
have a
is
reason.
fine. Everybody has their own opinion, even if it's wrong.
I got a lot of them. So,
but
I mean, I'm also not like Anarchy is in this for a little bit. I do not like this design of Anarchy at all.
well,
But then again, I only know him from one side quest in Arkham City. That's the only way I know Anarchy.
right, which is really not a basis of comparison for this comic book character that's looked like this for a long time.
No one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, pretty much. What a dope. But hey, at least our boy's back. Yeah, Scarecrow with the VR nonsense.
That was kind of funny because I'm
that
like,
is
this
the
is a few
90s.
years off. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
finally hook him up to a virtual boy.
Oh, but some of these pictures in this one are just fucking creepy. Scarecrow's fear gas effects are done really well in this book.
And the art is so different for these three. Like, example, Shadow of the Bat, number 17, Knightfall, number 17. That one looks straight up like a movie poster from the 90s.
Yeah, and that's
like
a
Last
dope
Action
cover.
Hero.
Oh, I know you're not talking bad about Last Action Hero.
I'm not talking bad. I'm just using the comparison of how it looks just like it looks like the 90s.
Yeah, right, I guess.
So I did feel bad for the kid that Scarecrow manipulates. I did feel bad for him because killed his father. And what Anarchy wants to kill Batman because it's Batman's fault that all the villains are there, which is actually true. So I get it.
Absolutely true. Anarchy wasn't wrong.
John Paul is just so violent in this, and he turns on Robin too. Like he's just like nobody wants nothing to do with Robin in this book. Like Batman doesn't want Robin. John Paul doesn't want Robin. Nobody wants Robin.
Bruce didn't pick you. He picked me.
Why the fuck did he? Why didn't he pick Nightwing? I know that comment
had his own shit going on.
Isn't that comment in this book too? Like near the end.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't remembering correctly.
Yeah, like he's got his own life.
Yeah, but John Paul's a psychopath.
He's out there and taking care of Bloodhaven, fucking Starfire. Of course, he's got his own thing going on.
Yeah, like I'd ignore Bruce's calls too.
Yeah, Starfire. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'd probably feel bad after I found out his back was broken and he was in a wheelchair.
which is
Starfire
what
took care of
happens.
Yeah.
that. She'd take care of that problem for you.
She's a space goddess. I mean, what the fuck?
But those gauntlets, though.
I do like it when Batman does change things in here. Wait, who is he? Oh, that's Barbara Gordon for one panel, isn't it? That he's talking to on the phone.
Yep.
Oh, okay. That's not a very fancy wheelchair.
No.
But
No,
I didn't realize
that's
she was
her-
in this.
That's her house wheelchair.
you
I
also
always
get to
forget that Killing Joke wasn't canon, but then they made it canon for some reason.
well, the ending of Killing Joke isn't canon. Big Barbara getting her fucking back blown out still canon.
Shouldn't be, but
Which time? Are we talking about the one with the gun or the one with Bruce? Oh.
The gun first.
we're talking about the time where she gets shot.
Yeah, I know.
I know,
Yeah.
but it was funny. I will take that. It was funny.
I still to this day, I don't think there's an actual canon reason how she gets better. She just does.
Fucking Batman magic.
Nano machines.
Probably nanomachines.
I mean, when John Paul gets the gauntlets, at least then I knew it was never Batman I was reading about, and it was always John Paul Batman. Like, that did help. I like the gauntlets. I think the gauntlets are cool that he wears.
I
Now-
also like the gauntlets.
You guys want to talk about dated 90s things? Those gauntlets are so 90s. They scream.
Yeah.
They scream, I want that Spawn money too.
They do everything too.
I forget that Spawn was a big thing in the 90s because I didn't give a shit about Spawn. I still don't give a shit about Spawn.
You're missing out, man. Spawn's dope.
Oh,
Like it's cheesy, it's corny,
It's crazy.
but it's pretty dope.
You know, I say I don't care about it, but as a kid, I had multiple Spawn figures. So, something.
So yeah.
Maybe I liked them more than I didn't read any comics, though, and I remember the movie.
But the gauntlets were the result of Jean Paul like blacking out and just drawing them. So like he's not terribly stable.
Well, they mentioned that a little bit earlier too, where he's like oh man, fucking Scarecrow sure is blasting everyone with fear gas. I wonder if I get blasted, what I'll fear. And he gets blasted on purpose. And he's like, no, I think I'm going to be okay. And then he ends up whooping his ass. And he's like, that's weird. I'm not scared of anything. I probably shouldn't worry about that.
That's not a problem.
For now.
I know there's one part when Joker gets gas and he's like, that tickled, pretty much. Has no effect because he's, crazy.
Yeah.
They make that an ongoing joke, though. I think fear gas doesn't work on him and Harley, so.
That seems fair enough. When Bruce leaves, when he realizes where Tim's father is and the doctor, he just leaves a note for Tim and just says, bye, see ya.
Hey, we're going to find him. Don't let that other Batman fuck too much shit up.
Or do. I'm not your dad.
I mean, he does tell him, like, he tells John Paul and Robin, don't go after Bane, which, of course, John Paul goes after Bane near the end of this.
Yeah, and that's when we get to Batman Detective Comics 666.
Shut the fuck up, really.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up, but man, that cover, that is dope.
I'm trying to find that cover.
It's the big naked Bane.
On 551.
550. Or 549.
I don't like that cover, but yes.
I like that cover. I think
it's a big naked Bane. And I like how they do it white just near where his balls would be, so you don't see anything. But like, is he wearing pants? No, he's not. But
he might be.
You don't know. It's Bane's pants. Are they there or not? Who knows? We can't see. Oh, I do want to go back because I got sidetracked with the Firefly thing when I made my joke and then depressed us all. Because I did depress us all.
Oh, now I'm depressed again. You reminded me that you depressed me.
I like how there's a little detectiveness when it comes to Firefly, and Robin actually gets to do something, like help figure out where Firefly's going to go next. Like, it was nice. Give him some more purpose.
Giving him a little bit of business.
Because I don't like it that he's so sidelined in this book.
In this book?
Okay, I'm going to see more of him later.
Of course you will. It's Robin.
I mean, I was hoping so, but...
You still got 2 more volumes, bro.
Yeah. And there's one thing of Bane just standing here in a bathrobe, holding a glass of wine. That's kind of amusing.
Like, seriously, though, how badass do you have to be to just be like, I'm just going to stand around in a bathrobe with a wine glass after I break my cronies out of jail? That's how not worried he is.
Wait, I don't think he did it, though, because he makes comments like, I didn't break you out of jail.
Yeah, I was getting there.
Oh, sorry.
It was signed with a B. The wrong B. B is not for Bane, it's for Batman.
Oh, fuck. We've been shaboodled.
I mean, Batman kind of fucks up Bane a little bit in this.
He doesn't kind of fuck up Bane. He fucks up Bane.
Yeah, because you have the Dark Angel thing. This is the last couple issues. Like, I guess it's the gauntlet that shoots out the little batarangs.
Yeah.
Doesn't he chase Bane in a mall or something? That what I'm looking at? I'm just flipping through the pages because I don't remember.
I was on my so I was finishing reading this up whenever I got home because I want to say I got to like maybe let me look over here. I probably got to page like 500, maybe 550 whenever I got off work today. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go home and finish this up. I'm on my couch cracking the fuck up. And my husband's like, what the fuck are you laughing at? Fucking John Paul slides down a fucking wall, kicks himself off, and then like fucking, what is it? Like cannonballs. And you're like, oh, I wonder what he's doing. And then he just lands face first into a fucking goddamn fountain. It's the funniest fucking looking thing ever.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
He's still new at it though. Like he's trying.
And then someone goes, oh god, there's not even any water in this. And he's like, oh, that hurt.
Oh, I forgot he makes that really cool costume.
It's a great costume.
After he fights Bane and Bane escapes.
Yeah.
So I had seen this costume many, many times over the years, but I never knew what it was from. Because, I never read this book. So is that... Because I had my original impression of seeing toys and everything that I knew it was from this story, but I always thought it was Batman, Bruce Wayne in it, because after he got broken by Bane, he had to wear a suit that was able to support him. Like War Machine in MCU.
Yeah, no, Batman's just extra. You can't just have the gauntlets. You have to match the entire suit.
I do like this suit. This is a cool outfit.
603 of him jumping backwards off a building is such a sweet fucking cover.
Yeah, that's a really cool page.
Yeah, and there's your Spawn right there. Mm-hmm. With the huge cape.
That's what that is.
the multiple blades and claw type things. And yeah, no, this is your bat spawn.
This is where he fucks up Bane bad.
Oh
too,
yeah,
right?
he
okay.
fucks up Bane. Now, we should be clear, the only reason he fucks up Bane is because of this super advanced technological marvel of a suit. But he still fucks up Bane.
See, I was very sad because then it just kind of ends. Bane gets away after. No, does Bane get away or he get arrested? Oh, he gets arrested.
I mean,
I'm assuming he ain't gonna stay put.
there's 2 more volumes.
Well, yeah.
And you got to remember, this wasn't split up when it came out. It was just an entire year of this shit across multiple Batman books. So that's a lot.
I feel like that would have been annoying if you were somebody that was just reading this over and over and over again. You just got nothing else.
Well, people were invested in this storyline.
Mm-hmm.
I was alive back then. And people were hyped for this. So it was an actual thing.
I definitely wanted more. When I finished this, I wanted to order number 2. I have not yet. But
You should.
I was waiting for something to happen that I'm not going to discuss.
Unless you don't want to know what happens.
I do. I'm going to order it. I was just waiting on a gift card. Just where I get gift cards sometimes. So I was kind of hoping I would get a gift card and I would buy it that way as my reward.
Fair enough.
But I want to read more because this was really good.
Uh-huh.
I think the scene where Bane busts through the billboard is dope. He sets up a billboard to taunt Batman to come to this location. Then he just flies through in a shower of sparks and explosions, and they just go. And the cops are like, "Nah, we're not doing this."
Made me really miss Bruce Wayne though. For the second half of this book, I really missed him, which I'm assuming is what you're supposed to be feeling.
Well, yeah, you want him to. You wonder what's going to happen to Bruce Wayne because you don't like what's going on. You like that Bane gets beaten, but it's kind of not like this .jpg. You don't. This isn't how you want Bane to go down.
You want him to
finish it.
Yeah. My hypothesis is that Azrael is going to be a big villain coming up here. Is my hypothesis.
Yeah, because my guesstimate from anything else too is, oh hey Azrael, here's the suit. All right, cool. I'm Batman for a while. Hey, Bruce is fine now. Okay, I'm still Batman. No, that's not how that works. Oh, too bad. And I'm assuming that's where this goes.
That would be a wild story if that was how it happened.
Does it get worse? Is this the high point, Ken?
I don't want to tell you anything. I want you to read it.
Oh, we will. I would order it, but it will get here and I will not be in town, so I don't want it sitting on my porch for 2 days. But I will be ordering it when I get back.
There's going to be some tension. We'll put it that way.
It was something that felt good to finally read a book that I have heard people talk about for years and years and years, but never got to experience.
Same.
And it's a good book.
Yeah.
You worry about Bruce. You really don't. You start to not like John Paul.
They do a good job making you not like him very quickly too.
Yeah.
They wasted no time.
Nope. And the
this
book,
is a shithead.
It ends with Robin being like, "Yeah, I guess you are the Batman." And John Paul's like, "Damn right, kid, fuck off." And then he takes off. And that's how it ends. That's simple.
I'm definitely excited for more. Very excited to see where this goes, and we'll plan the next volume at some point. But also, fun fact I didn't want to mention earlier, but I want to mention now. When we first started the comic episodes, long before Joe and Ken were a part of this, the plan was to only go 50 comic episodes, and Knightfall was going to be the last one, and that was it. We were done.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't my idea, by the way. But that was what originally was talked about, and it's just kind of funny to me, because here we finally are, episode 75 of the comics, not to mention there are, about 6 others in the can that you will hear soon after this that I've been holding on to, but, it just feels so good to hit those milestones with this show. And because of it, I've read some amazing comics I never would have read otherwise. Never would have read Sandman. Never would have read this or so many Watchmen I read before, but just so many things that I experienced because of these comic episodes. So yeah. All right, we should go to Shelf Stacker Box. I think it's easy, but I'll go first. I'm going to put this in the shelf. I couldn't put this down my first reading. I read the 600-page book within like a week or so. I just could not put it down. It was so good. I wasn't like Joe, who read it like 2 days, Joe.
Yeah.
But I loved it. Going on the shelf. And what about you, Joe?
So I read it. I thought the beginning of this book's really like kind of a slow burn. I kind of didn't like it at first at the beginning, but once it kicked off running, it didn't stop. I'll admit that. And so like same thing. I was completely enthralled once it actually started kicking off, where like, you know, all the villains were getting tougher. Batman started freaking the fuck out, and even then, like I when I got to the point where his back broke, and afterwards I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna like any of this, and I still liked a lot of that stuff even after Batman got his back broken, and just kept going and building up and building up. And even now I'm like, oh, I actually want to see what happens next too. So I'll go ahead and pop this on the shelf too.
All right. And Kenneth.
I'm going to go ahead and slap this bad boy on the shelf. When I first read this years ago, Bane was such a different thing than you had seen before. And that was, it profoundly affected me. Like, as a comic book reader, I was like, man, this dude is amazing. And like, the story's great. It has emotional stakes, and it just, well, Two-Face in it, Scarecrow's in it. I got to figure out who Film Freak was. Victor Zsasz is in it. Like, all my people are in it. So it has to go on the shelf. Has to. And so
I also did. I wanted to mention this earlier, but I completely forgot. But since you said it, like, this is Batman's version of Doomsday.
Yeah, pretty much.
Uh-huh.
Although this was they started working on this years before Superman died. So like, don't believe anybody who's like, oh, it's just Batman ripping off Death of Superman. It's not. It's not. I promise.
What fucking year did Superman die?
Our first comic episode is actually the Death of Superman. That's a bad episode. Didn't know what we were doing at the time, so
it started in December 92 and lasted until October 93.
Okay, so this came after that was happening.
Yeah.
I get how people can be like, oh, that's just copying it.
Yeah, well, like, I'm sure people did their own thing too, and like, whatever.
It doesn't take away something being good. Like, even though like Bane's whole thing is that he breaks Batman's back, and that you have an adversary that is so strong, which, yes, there are comparisons to Superman, if we were just saying, but it's still very unique and still very, very good. And you can't take that away from.
Oh, yeah, no. Like, Doomsday is not Bane. Like, Doomsday isn't smart enough to do this.
Doomsday's just a monster.
Yeah. And like, oh no, Superman got beat by a monster. Wow, that's crazy. Oh goodness, wow. But like, for Batman to get out-tacticked by some dude, that's pretty great.
That's what makes it so impressive, is that, I mean, yes, he did let all the other goons wear him down before he fights them, but he still set it all up and orchestrated this whole event. So you got to give him credit for that.
Well, you do, because it was absolutely part of his plan.
I feel like when I watch that movie now, I'm going to be even angrier. And for the record, I have never seen Dark Knight Rises since I saw it in theaters. The day it came out, I have not seen it since because I refuse to.
Can't wait to watch that.
We are doing it next year, for sure. We're doing all three of them in 2025, for sure. I need to do it.
You heard it here, Games My Mom Found fans.
Yes, and I never say things on here and then come back and not do it.
No. He told it to me and Joe. We're gonna make him do it.
Yeah, we're gonna make him do it. I don't give a fuck what he says.
No, we're finally doing it because I need to. It needs to be part of the show. I also want to redo the Batman because I wasn't in the right mindset, and I need to rewatch that movie and talk about it again. I need to recover at some point.
You know what? We can absolutely talk about the Batman again if we also wedge in the Penguin.
That's the only reason I want to do it. So.
I have not watched the Penguin. Give me a good reason to watch the Penguin, Ken.
Do it. There's your reason.
Okay, because I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I watched like I think I talked about it on the What Are You Playing? I watched the first episode of Agatha all along. It did not grab my attention.
That one's fun. I have fun with that too. But
it looks odd, so I get where you're coming from.
So with the promise of the Christopher Nolan trilogy, with revisiting the Batman, possibly looking at the Penguin, and 2 more volumes of this waiting, could it be possible that 2025 is going to be the year of Batman?
I wouldn't count on all that, but we'll see.
Batman.
Batman.
I do like doing Batman stuff. We did a lot of Batman stuff, and then for a little bit just kind of like stopped.
Yeah.
I got a little sick of Batman, I think.
Well, this is a good way to get back into Batman.
It did for sure.
Just a good, fun story.
And I'm glad that I bought this. And as you could hear in the podcast, I probably won't be able to edit it all out, me flipping through pages because I bought the physical omnibus of this. I didn't read it digital because I didn't want to go from issue to issue trying to figure out what's next. So, yeah, I just bought the book instead.
I hate to admit it, if you listen to this and go to the Games My Mom Found Discord, where you can talk to all three of us at some points, and even post in Ken's horror channel and Joe's anime channel. I read all my comics off of Amazon's shitty Kindle app. It's not bad, especially because you're able to click on it and it'll zoom into panels and actually show the panels like in a good reading order. So that's pretty much how I'm reading them now. But if anyone has a better way of me doing that, I would very much gladly give someone else my money as opposed to Amazon.
I have a pirate website that will tell you single girls are looking for you.
Don't do that.
It's got to be at least some kind of app.
No, don't do what I do.
I use Google Play Books for mine. I don't know if it's better than Amazon. It might be.
I think we got the what is that called? The Batman Knight. When we did the Knight stuff.
Arkham Knight?
Metal Knights.
Oh, God. Dark Knight Metal. I tried to forget we covered that because I really did not like it.
Yeah, that's fair too. I think I bought the Dark Knight Metals on there, so I'll go read through it, see if it's a better way to read that, and I'll probably do that, especially because I think they have better deals than Amazon anyways.
Yeah, they do. I'm looking right now at Batman White Knight for $10.
Fuck.
That I've heard good things about.
I've heard great things from that.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about picking that up. Also, Cataclysm right now is on sale for $16.19.
I like my comics digital a lot, actually. Like, I get, like, it was nice having an actual book, but I do like reading on a tablet more.
Fair.
It's because I read a lot in bed, and a book you need light, and then disturb your wife.
There's just something so wonderful about the feel of a physical book.
No, there was. I mean, unfortunately, this book is a little bit more beat up than I would like it to be because it got read and brought around, and it makes me sad that it's beat up, but no, I enjoyed it.
It's well loved, Mike.
It is. No, this was an experience, and a good experience, so not every day I can say I read a book physical, so
yeah.
It don't happen a lot. All right, we should go to plugs and wrap this up. And Ken, where can people find you at?
You can find me, as always, on many episodes of Game My Mom Found. One of these days, I'm actually going to count and see how many episodes I've been on.
Have fun with that one. I'm not doing it for you.
You can also find me toward the end of 2024 on my movie podcast. It's going to be fun. It's going to be an interview-style show where we sit down and talk about why people love the movies they love. I'm looking forward to sharing it with everybody. It's going to be a blast.
And if you enjoyed this episode, over 700 other episodes of this podcast, you can find everything we do on Podbean. We do movies, comics, TV shows, games, all sorts of content. You can go find our giant catalog. If you want to see the rest of or hear the rest of our Batman stuff, all linked to everything will be in the show notes. So definitely go check that out. You can hear all that content. That we have a lot of Batman content, so go check out that. If you want to support the show, we do have a Patreon. Little dog vote in our Patreon poll. We have 1 to 2 polls a month, so you get to affect the show. So please do that, and you make me happy. So that's also wonderful. And as we mentioned earlier, join the Discord. That's how you can suggest things to be on the show. That's how you can be on the show if you want to, or just chat with us. We're just happy to have new people join us and shoot the shit. So please join the Discord. You'll see a link in the show notes to every episode, including this one. So yeah, definitely go check it out. And I want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro critic, Elena at Hell Hasfer. You can follow her on TikTok and Instagram. Definitely go check her out. And give a shout out to Bill Tucker at Gamer Looks at 40. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, YouTube, audio only. Rate and reviews wherever you get your podcast, please. I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
So long.
See ya.